Disappointed with the outcome?
Yeah, they will do. I think Poch, in many ways, especially in the first half, the clear-cut chances that they created.
All-important goal, Sean.
Yeah, that's something that normally happens anyway, but there was obviously a shout for handball there. Kevin miscontrols it there, and then Chelsea capitalise. Cole Palmer plays Jackson in, and Jackson sees the pass and plays it, catches Walker off guard. And Walker's got to keep him on his left foot, but Sterling does great to get back on his right, and it's an incredible finish.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting down that side, aren't they? Down that right side all the time. But this is a great run. I don't know why Walker went across there in the first place, but Sean's right. Just got to keep him going on his left. Back your goalkeeper on the angle that he's going to have to score from there. Back your keeper. Don't let him come inside. But it's a brilliant bit of skill, and he gets enough pace and a whip on it to put it in that bottom corner, and Chelsea have deserved it.
And I just wonder, is that reaction to do with the way Kyle Walker was undone by Sterling? I mean, these are two players who know each other's game really well. They've trained against each other, Sean.
And had and didn't take. And then I think in Pep's position, City had some glorious chances that normally end up in the back of the net that didn't. So he'll be disappointed, but it's for City now, the focus is the next game.
Yeah. What does it mean in the wake of today's results with Liverpool and Arsenal? Or is it just too early to say right now?
Oh, it's too early to define who's going to win it from here. I still think City are the favourites. They're the ones that people have got to beat. If they win the game in hand, they put themselves back in the hunt completely. They're the team to beat. But no, I think Liverpool, it's a good weekend for Liverpool, of course. They've won away at home and they've got a cup final round the corner. So very positive steps for them. But no, I think City are the favourites. I think Chelsea have done themselves a favour today with the way they played. But we've been down that road before.
And so you're not getting too carried away right now?
No, because I'll tell you why, because there's no consistency there, you know, and they don't know how they're going to play the next game. They might not get anywhere near this performance, which we've seen before. City, when they played them at the Bridge, and then the week after, they were awful. And that's been the pattern all season. So you would like to think Chelsea now, they beat Palace, they've got a point away at City, go and get some consistency. And they've got a cup final thrown in the middle of it. So it's not too bad for Chelsea as well.
No, and it's funny, we've got to put things in a context. I mean, they were going for a 12th straight win in all competitions, Manchester City. It does put a run to that winning sequence, as we know that they could so often do in the second half of the season. But let's have a look at the way that Rodri rescued that point for the hosts.
He's the man at the minute that always seems to step up when they need him. And it was good play here, City piling on loads of pressure. They recycled the ball here well. Cole Walker's shot, but this strike, even if it doesn't take the deflection, I think it goes in. He catches it so well and with so much power in it, I think it beats the keeper anyway. But I feel like Chelsea is sleeping a little bit there. If you see like Nkunku and Gallagher, I think it is, over to the far side to Kevin, and he's just free on the edge of the box, so he has a free shot, Glenn.
It's ironic, isn't it, that every single Chelsea outfield player is in the box. And Rodri comes up, he's got this habit of scoring big goals, Champions League final. He's the man that you want on a ball like that, that's coming out, needs to be dealt with. That's not an easy strike. He's kept it down. I don't know what that celebration is, but he's kept it down.
It's an unusual one.
And, very much so. But he's kept it down, he's drilled it low, and obviously Chalobah was a bit unlucky. It's just hit his knee and flown into the net. And you've got to say they deserved it, really, in the second half performance. So I think a draw is a really fair result for both clubs. And I think a lot from the manager, they'll be pleased, actually, with the way they played, particularly Chelsea. And I think Pep will be pleased with the way that City turned it round second half.
You can't argue it wasn't coming. That was City's 27th shot of the game today against Chelsea. So let's hear from the man himself. Here's Rodri.
Rodri, I'm sure there's some disappointment at the result, but what about performance? Was that a performance that was at the level you expect for City?
Well, I think we didn't do a great first half, to be honest. We conceded another easy goal, let's say. I think we have to defend better. They almost create nothing in the first half. We knew counter-attacks, have fast players, but I think it was 3 against 1 or 2 against 1. The counter-attack, we have to defend better. We have to be honest with ourselves, and then from there it's always more tough to come back. They go deep, they start playing with your patience. We gave everything. I think the example is the second half. We play amazing. It wasn't enough.
Is it?
He has this tendency to score big goals. I mean, it might not be a winning goal for City, But it almost feels like a win, considering they came so close to defeat.
Well, that's the man you want at the minute when it comes to those clutch time finishes. He seems to pop up. He scores in the big games, the important games, and not always just the last goal. Sometimes it's that goal like today where it's an equaliser and that kind of spurs them on to get more goals or create more chances. So I think right now he seems like that player that City can't play kind of without defensively and in some cases going forward as well.
In terms of the effort, maybe the bravery from your players, what did you think?
No, I think a very good performance, very pleased. I think that this is a spirit that we want to show. We're working for that. I think today, again, I think for me the best team on the world and showed this type of performance. I think we need to feel very proud. I congratulate to the player at the end of the game because I think we were so brave and always thinking and try to win the game.
How were you able to give them so many problems, particularly first half?
No, first half was really good. I think yes, we were very aggressive with the ball going forward. I think winning duels and I think the performance was good. We didn't concede too much. Of course, in the second half, I think they dominate and we go a little bit. They force to defend deep. But I think we sustained the effort and we create a few chances on the second half that should score and win the game. But I think I am so happy. I think the draw is a good draw for us. It's a good result for us. And when you face this type of team, I think important to be brave and to face and to fight in every single aspect.
If there's one regret, is it not getting that second goal when you had those moments,
yes.
Second half?
Yes, of course. If it's always open the game, you know, Manchester City have the quality and the capacity to create chances and score because they have amazing players. I think the quality of the team is there, and I think it's fantastic for us because we are a young team and we need to live this type of experience to grow.
Mauricio Pochettino, one of the many managers in the Premier League who talk about the process. How much will that point help with the process that they're in the middle of?
It should help the performance as well. It's a very important point away from home at City. But the way they played, I think, I'd be very pleased about, and it's something for them to build on. But we have said this before with Chelsea. That's the problem. They've now got to analyse how they played there. And Sean and I just off air were saying that is a template for them to get really good results. If they're playing whoever their next game is, then that was easy for them to set out like that against City away from home, be nice and tight in the middle centre of the pitch, hit them on the break. Whether they would play their next game like that, we'll have to wait and see. Because I think that for a few weeks to get some more consistency, that template, that foundation that they did defensively, allowed them then to go and be an asset for going forward. So it'd be interesting to see whether Pochettino wants to keep that sort of tactic.
Well, let's hear what Pochettino's opposite number made of events today. Here's Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep got one of the goals you needed, couldn't quite get the winner. Overall, what did you make of it?
Good game. We performed not the first half not so good, but the second half really good, and 1-1.
So what was tricky first half? You said before the game they're a top side. How did they make it difficult for you in the first 45?
The rhythm was not proper. In that level, we have to play 90 minutes at the top level. We played just one half, and we have chances, but the second half we were better.
So what was the message at half-time?
Let's go. We are able to do whatever we want, and we prove it the second half.
So why does that happen? I suppose even a manager like you never quite knows, but why suddenly the rhythm wasn't there in the first half?
It happens quite often. I would say always. Sometimes it happens for the quality of the opponent, sometimes it happens.
So in the second half, rhythm, a bit more pace in the game, was that why you managed to dominate like you did?
You saw it, yeah. It was like that.
All strikers miss chances. Erling Haaland had his day today. It's the key thing that he keeps getting in there. And do you think a little bit the rhythm for him is missing since the injury? I know he got a couple of goals last week.
I cannot give advice. I play 11 years as a professional. I scored 11 goals. So I cannot give him too much advice to Erling about the score goals. Next day we'll score.
Did you think you might have had a penalty today? You had an appeal early in the second half. Sterling on Walker. Maybe a handball towards the end as well.
Which ones?
You had a couple of penalty appeals today.
Oh, okay. We didn't perform well the first half, and that is what you have to improve.
Okay. In terms of dropped points, how big a setback is this, particularly on a day where Liverpool have had a big win and Arsenal have had a big win?
Yeah, of course, they have two top sides, incredible team, and I know how difficult it is, and we performed to win, creating the amount incredible chances. They had chances as well in the transitions, but in general, the second half was who we are, and withdrawal points happen during the season, and I think on Tuesday when nobody plays and we play, because we play in Saudi Arabia to be the best team of the world, not one of the best, and we're going to continue.
Thanks, Pep.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's very hard to gauge with Pep after games such as this, whether he's bitterly disappointed or he just doesn't want to be there. Which of it is it for you?
I'm going to say he's disappointed because he's a winner. He always strives for perfection. And I think you heard him say in his interview there that they weren't at their greatest first half, but in the second half, that they were how he wanted them to play. And as a manager, I think that's what makes City and the players as great as they are, because you've got a man like that driving them, that he always wants the best from his players, and you always have to be at your best.
Yeah, I looking at him there, I think if they'd have got that winner right near the end there and 1-2-1, he wouldn't have been any different. That's hurt him the way they went out and played first half. Yeah. He very much wants to look at the performance as well as winning matches. Yeah. He can afford to because he's got the best players in the land, but it's about the performance. And he kept coming back, didn't he, to, well, we weren't good enough first half, and that wasn't us, that wasn't the normal City. But you know, they haven't lost the game, have they? They've got the draw, and they could have actually sneaked it right at the end.
Yeah, he wouldn't get dragged into the details of a couple of penalty shouts. Let's have a look on Sterling, on Kyle Walker. How did you see this?
Sean thinks it's... Go on, Sean, you go.
Well,
this could be interesting.
This is my thought on it. I just think, in general, Walker's been clever. He puts his body in front of Raheem's tackle. I think it's a clumsy coming together. So I just think it could have been given as a penalty. I would have tried to claim a penalty for that if it was me on the receiving end.
Would you have claimed a penalty on the receiving end of that?
I'd have tried to. But looking at that, I just can't say. I think it's a foul from Walker onto Sterling rather than any other way. And if you're an attacker, you may do that. You lay your leg up against the defender. But there's the first challenge. The first connection is Walker's leg onto Sterling there, and that's where Sterling gets tumbled over. Yeah. But I can see what Sean's saying. A little bit.
And what about handball on this incident?
For me, definitely. I thought it would have been before when I first saw it, especially, and then you see his arm kind of moves towards the ball. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure why this one wasn't given, to be honest.
You just see that there. Yeah, I mean, that's quite incriminating, that.
Yeah. In many ways, you know, I mean, after last week with the Luton, 2 penalties at Luton, that is more of a penalty than last week's, for sure. But for the sake of football, I'm glad they're not giving penalties for this type of thing. It's 4 players going up, landing, and then if you isolate in slow motion, you say, oh yeah, his hand's gone towards the ball. He's just landed. His arms have got to go somewhere. Yeah. And it's made contact with the ball. So for the sake of football, I'm pleased with that. But I'm still confused.
No, but I mean, to come to their defence, I mean, the referee community, I mean, they have said maybe those weren't penalties last week. But to view that on its own merit, you'd say, yes, it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Taking last week out of account.
Yeah, take last week out. If they'd have given a penalty, I'd have understood it. But I still got to say that gravity, you could jump, but those things are going to happen in a penalty. When 4 or 5 players are jumping, we've got to sort it out, in my opinion.
But also, we have to look at the chances that fell Haaland's way today.
Yeah, we do. It's a great ball in again. He gets up really well, but I'm not quite sure. He can just kind of power it at the keeper a bit. He glances it wide. This one is one that surprised me the most, I think. That felt a bit easier, Glenn, don't you think, than the first one?
He's lined up on it. He doesn't have to jump. He's actually got to stoop down to get it. And you'd lay your house on him to score there. It was a wonderful ball. The pace was on the ball. didn't need power really, and we all jumped out of our seat when we couldn't believe that he had headed it wide.
Yeah.
Wide, it didn't even hit the target, didn't force the keeper to make an unbelievable save. But wow, what a miss!
Right off day for Haaland. That's it from us. Thanks to Sean and to Glenn. We've had a brilliant day in the Premier League. Liverpool winning big, Arsenal doing likewise. They hit 4 and 5 respectively. Manchester City could only score 1. What does it mean in terms of the title race? We'll find out. Bye for now.